Welcome to the second match of round 3. On the losers bracket we have Team Grath. Down here in the bottom left corner of the map we have Jacka on Alder, Porkraven on Ares and Arkman on Hydros, facing against Children of Gaia, Ius GoA on Celesta, Crispy on Rhyme and Castle on Alder. So let's take a quick look at their unit composition here. And we see Porkraven going for one Sentinel, Arkman doing the same, and the Shadow as well, while Jacka is in fact going to go for an Engineer and a Juggernaut. So this is going to be really tower offensive when those Titan fights come. Jacka is going to go for those Engineer and Juggernaut to try and steal off a few towers. On the other hand, for Children of Gaia, we have a patch bot. For Crispy, no Shadow in here. For Castle, we see an Engineer and a Sentinel. And for Ius GoA, we see a Snurp Herder and no Purifiers with Celesta. Instead, we get to see those Deadeyes, Deadeyes, Conduits and Windrays, as well as Precognitors. So we're not going to see Purifiers in this match. Let's go and start this one up right here. And here we go, we are now loaded into the game. The loser of this match is going to be eliminated from the tournament, so they are playing for their tournament lives in this match. We see Arkman and Jacka are going to be a little bit sneaky right now and trying to steal this camp from Ius GoA, while Porkraven is attempting to do the same, but this one is heavily defended by Castle and Crispy. He is, however, managing to kite this creep away for quite a little bit, and it looks like Jacka and Arkman are actually doing a fairly good job at taking this critter as well. Let's see if they are going to be able to do that. Porkraven gets a steal there, and Jacka and Arkman do the same. Nicely done for them. Let's see how they want to transition from here. It looks like Porkraven is still going for Sand Stingers, Arkman going for upgrade to tech level 2, and Jacka doing the same. We see GoA here is still on Wisps. Castle is going to go for tech level 2, and Crispy with those Arctic Newts not really advancing in tech right now. Instead, he chose to get one Nautilus out. And it looks like our blue team is going to have a little bit of an advantage with those stolen creeps. They were not punished at all, and actually Castle is going to go down, but that is not worth all those Sand Stingers. Porkraven has to try and do something, but all of them, and almost all of them, are going to be taken down there. So that wasn't efficient at all for Porkraven. Jacka is down here contesting this bottom right corner of the map with GoA, and it looks like he is pretty much winning this contest. Arkman is here to back him up as well. GoA is now kiting that critter, nicely done by him, avoiding any damage whatsoever. He does have 4 Wisps ready to warp in there. Crispy not really taking up for anything, while Castle is going to get his fast Bramblethorn out, and interestingly enough, an Engineer. Porkraven is going for fast Devilkin Doe, which is not actually taking up to tier 3. We see a Shadow coming here from Arkman. It is going to be fairly crucial in the next Titan fight if there is going to be no detection from our red team, and it does not look like a Sentinel is present right now on the map, and that will be a no. That Shadow will have free reign over the middle, but in fact it is actually a little bit of a mistake that the Shadow gets unconcealed. And let's see what this one wants to do. It is in a good spot right there to try and do something, but it looks like Arkman is not yet ready to commit with those Shadows. Porkraven here is just trying to get his Sand Stingers up. Arkman is now actually being engaged, and now we see those Shadows on top of each other. It would have been better to just space them out a little bit, but still they are doing their job. Castle is going to go down. We'll see right here, not that much has been lost by our blue team. They do have a stronger army at this point, and those two shadows are still around, and they might be able to pull something off, but we see that actually now they are being taken down. Now it looks like they have finally managed to get those shadows taken down. There is still one left in here, so let's see what Arkman wants to do with it. The Bramblethorns are doing quite a little bit of damage, and that shadow is not all that efficient, and that was an extremely close Titan, but that means that this one is going to be fairly squishy to those towers, and that Bramblethorn, if it can get in there, it is not such a good idea to pursue with this Titan, and it still have 1.5 more minutes until the medium camps are going to spawn. So there is quite a little bit of time for both teams to try and get something done. We can see right here an iron cannon is being built. This shadow can't really take down the iron cannon all by himself, and it is going to go in there and trap those wisps. Arkman is now here for the finish. That engineer is going to go down, and another iron cannon for the blue team is going to go down here, but it is going to be killed by Castle and Crispy fairly easily before it deals too much damage there. Jacka is now trying to get in here, but he is all alone. He can't really do all that much. His Bramblethorn is quite far behind at this point, and he has to make something with it, put it in the front, because the role of the Bramblethorn is to tank, especially if you're going to go with the red, as we can see Porkraven is doing. That Bramblethorn is going to get killed though. Castle is going to be taken down by Porkraven, but I don't think that one hero is worth two Bramblethorns there. So Jacka is not really on top of his macro there with those Bramblethorns. Two of them get taken down at this point, so that is quite a blow that is being dealt to our blue team. They are being rebuilt right now, however. And we see Arkman is now getting his first Aquadillo, and his physical resistance is level 1. And we can also see that Crispy is going to go for those neutral critters down there. An engineer is now building an iron cannon again in the same spot. Medium camps have spawned, and this one is not yet engaged by any of the teams, while the blue team is now almost finishing up with this medium camp down here, and it looks like GoTo is going to go all alone for this medium camp. Castle is now coming down to help with his Bramblethorns, and this one is going to go for the red team. We see this shadow around here. It cannot really do anything all by itself, and it is getting taken down because that sentinel is there and is providing vision, and that is a nice pickup for our free agents there. As we can see, this iron cannon is still doing quite a little bit of work. It managed to take down one tower and is now applying heavy damage on the second one. Porkraven is all alone down here with one Apocalypse. That Apocalypse shot can actually do some damage in here to those Arctic newts, but instead he chooses to take down that one critter, and we can actually see that he does have indeed two more Apocalypses coming. That iron cannon was not able to finish the tower, only one hit remaining, so it might be a good idea to try and poke in there to finish it off. And we see Jacka going for this medium camp. Castle and Crispy not really committing to these medium camps. They have to go in there. Ius GoTo is now engaging this medium camp and is going to take it down fairly easily. He is going to go for tech level 3 as well. Castle is just getting defensive upgrades at this point. Crispy not really producing anything at the moment. Porkraven going for a sentinel and ability power level 1. It is a good choice to get to that ability power. He does have 3 Apocalypse in here, 4 dervishes, so it is going to be a good choice to get that upgrade. Arkman now, I saw that he just got his Ice Frog, and he also has one Aquadillo, while Jackass here is building his Juggernaut and transitioning to tech level 3, as well as getting some physical resist there. We see a lot of iron cannons coming down. This one for the red team, and the one for the blue team was actually eliminated by GoTo there. Nicely done by him. This Devilkin Dervish is pretty lost in the bottom right corner of the map. Titans have now spawned, and Jaka is on top of this Titan fairly early. Nicely done by him. GoTo and the entirety of the red team is here as well. That Dervish is still down here, and it is farming. It is not the most efficient thing that you can do with a Dervish, but I guess it works just as well as a few Sand Stingers there. And again, the blue team is having superior DPS, but Arkman now is going to engage. We are going to see that Ice Frog doing a nice bit of damage, and actually those Apocalypse shots hit gold right there, combined with the Ice Frog freeze. It worked out extremely well for our blue team, and they have also won this Titan fight. It looks like they want to push with their Titan at this point. One tower gets taken down, one Bramblethorn is extremely low and it eventually goes down, another one does the same, but again Jaka is losing one Bramblethorn as well. Not that big of a loss at this point for him, as those Bramblethorns are going to be able to chase Crispy and his Arctic Newts away, and actually killing a few of them. That Icy Breath is going to miss, but is going to keep Crispy away for a little longer, and I believe that their goal is going to be to take this Warp Spire down, and Jaka has to move those Bramblethorns in front so that they can tank for Porkraven there. The Warp Spire is going to go down, and this Titan is killed right now. Careful with that Aquadillo, you don't want to just waste that valuable unit there. It looks like that Aquadillo might actually be going down, and down it goes. Arkman should have definitely saved his high tier unit there. Is now getting one more Aquadillo and an Ancient Ice Frog. But the hard camps are still quite far off, more than 1 minute, and those two teams have a little bit of time to keep on farming. We see a nice split here. 2 Scuttle Guards and 1 Devilkin Dervish are doing a lot of work in the top left corner of the map, as well as 2 Seed Bots, while this Devilkin Dervish is still running around down here doing some nice damage. And it is actually going to go fairly well for them. Let's check their income. As you can see, we have a massive lead in Bioshards here for our blue team, and checking out their armies, their armies on the map present and alive at this moment is superior as well. So right now they can take some risks with this, and they can force some engagements, and that would be really good. Finally, that Devilkin Dervish is going to go down, and an iron cannon being built in the bottom right corner of the map. Another one being built by the blue team this time around, and with the Juggernaut, that tower is pretty much dead at this point. Let's see what they want to do. It looks like the blue team wants to take out this iron cannon as soon as possible, and they are going to do just that. But this tower is going to go down. Careful with that Juggernaut. If you can, you might want to save it and bring it back to base so that it can heal. GoTo and Castle are moving in down here. That Bramblethorn is rooted, and the same is going to go for Castle's Bramblethorn, and that one is actually going to get surrounded. The tower in the top left side of the map was taken down by that iron cannon eventually, and I believe that the Juggernaut went down. And as we can see here, the blue team wants to push this tower, and it is a good idea. They have the superior army, and they can benefit from this. But hard camps have spawned as well, and it looks like they're doing a little bit of a split. Arkman manages to take down that tower. Crispy is all alone down here, and with his army composition, he would be able to take down that hard camp, but he has to engage right away, otherwise this whole blue team's army would move in there and eventually trap him there. It looks like Castle and GoTo are trying to make something happen in here, but I don't think that they have enough army to do so. There is just a lot of units down here for our blue team, and finally Crispy is now engaging in here. He did take down that boss, and now working on the last aerial unit. Nicely done by him. He is able to recuperate those bioshards that were lost earlier on in the game, and our blue team is going to go down. and take their safe hard camp inside their base. And let's check our composition here. We see that Jaka is building his trebuchet. It is almost finished, getting one battle horn as well. Pork Raven is just getting upgrades. Titans have spawned, so both teams are going to head into the middle there. And Arkman is going for one Aquadillo, physical resistance level 3. That is going to make his army really beefy for what's to come. And it looks like both teams, that Titan was able to get a stun on those high-tech units, and one Apocalypse shot going off on top of Castle's hero, not really accomplishing all that much. We see those heat waves are starting to go down right now, and those trebuchet heads are doing a fantastic job at just boxing Crispy in, not letting him get anywhere near that Titan. And he's just trying to do a little bit of damage, but it looks like this Titan fight is going to go in favor of Team Grath yet again. And we see an engagement from Arkman, and those ice frogs there are extremely valuable. And we see those Apocalypse shots are a little bit late to the party, but they do seal the deal and manage to take down pretty much everything that Crispy has on the board. And it looks like only one Aquadillo is left at this point. The Titan fight has been won, and the entirety of our blue team is pursuing with their Titan at this point. Castle is fairly low. We see one Apocalypse shot just missing right there, and that healing generator is going to go down. Apocalypse shots on both sides right now. Titan is still alive and healthy. One Bramblethorn goes down, one Aquadillo goes down right there, and another Bramblethorn for our red team. And we see an ultimate from Castle there, trying to root them in place, managing that for just a few seconds. Titan is still alive, however, and that Baton Horn was just taken down by those conduits. Titan is not doing anything, and this is not optimal. You want to get rid of that archive tower, but I believe it is going to be able to do that. There it goes. We see more heat waves from Pork Raven right there, but this Titan's health is nearly depleted, and it is going to go down. We see an iron cannon has been placed down here and doing quite a little bit of work on those towers. This is the only one that is in range of, and we see that medium camps have respawned right now. So Pork Raven is getting on top of this one. He can use his Apocalypse to try and get this one faster, and there it goes. He's doing just that, using a heat wave there as well. And we can see that Jaka and Arkman are actually taking care of the other medium camp in the meantime, so nicely done by them. And as we can see, the difference in bioshards is pretty much the same, 1000 bioshards advantage for our blue team. But however, it looks like the army composition and the army that is present on the map right now is getting a little bit even right now. The red team is closing the gap, and we can see that those medium camps have respawned as well. Pork Raven on top of this, and those were some nice Apocalypse shots, just obliterating that medium camp. And making use of those destructive prophecies is really important in this game if you are playing a red hero. And we see Jaka going for ability power level 3 right here, and actually that was a Pork Raven going for ability power level 3, magic resistance level 1, and basically all the upgrades. Oh, he also has tech level 4 queued up, so it is safe to say that he was fairly rich at that point of the game. Arkman is only now getting high volt, attack damage level 2, and some more units, an ice frog and a quadrupus. And let's see what Jaka is going to go for. Physical resistance level 3, battle horn, and advanced trajectory there. And as we can see here, Go2 is trying to farm a little bit, but he has to be careful. Those Aquadillos can jump quite a distance now. They do have high volt that has just finished upgrading. Castle looks like he wants to get in here, but Pork Raven is on top of the situation, not letting him get anywhere near. We saw that an iron cannon was being built down here, but it is not in the best of positions, and it is going to be taken down by Pork Raven there. Arkman is going to run away from from this army of Crispy, and I use GoA. As we can see here, the army is pretty much even at this point, surprisingly so, if not a little bit in favor of the red team. Even though the income doesn't tell the same story, but we can see where those bioshards went. They went into the upgrades right here. 1,000 bioshard lead for our blue team in upgrades, so that is going to matter quite a little bit. We can see the blue team is getting ready for the next Titan fight, and the red team is trying to do the same down here, and they are both just sieging up this position. Porkraven, I believe he is going to go for some heat waves. Instead he chooses to go for those destructive prophecies, not really hitting anything. We have trebuchets on both sides going down. Titans have spawned, and this is going to be a fairly close one. And let's see how they want to engage. And Arkman actually walking into those trebuchet hits. They do hit indeed, and take off quite a little bit of health from those Aquadillos, and the second shot goes down. Arkman has to be careful with his units not to get hit by those trebuchet shots again. Not that much of an engagement going down here. It is just dodging trebuchet shots so far. Only now Arkman chooses to engage, and we see those destructive prophecies are doing a lot of damage. A shadow is up in there as well. Castle goes down, and those bramblethorns are getting really low for the red team down there. We see a bramblethorn charging in as well. Actually, Batterhorn charging in, and that's get taken down eventually. And in the end we see that still both teams are pretty much even in terms of army, but that destructive prophecy was very valuable there by Porkraven, and with that they are able to secure the middle and most likely take down this Titan. It is going to be hard for the red team to re-engage down here, and this trebuchet is fairly close. Porkraven might be able to just snipe this one if he knows that it is there. I doubt that, but he has to get out of those shots first. And as we can see, this Titan is indeed very low and is going to be taken down by Porkraven momentarily. Just one more shot left and Jaka takes it home. This trebuchet really has to get out of here. It is risking to get taken down, and there we go. It finally chooses to retreat, and we see an iron cannon being placed here. They are doing a split with their Titan. Titan is going to go for this healing generator or the archive, while the rest of our blue team is clearing those towers down here. And we see the Titan going for the healing generator. There is one engineer to heal it up though, so it is going to take quite a little bit of time before this Titan is able to take that healing generator down. This warp spire is definitely going to be destroyed by the blue team here. Castle is the only thing that is the only one trying to defend at this point, and with only one Bramblethorn he's really not able to do that. Now we see the Titan was killed, and the blue team is now slowly getting pushed out of here by the red team. Those trebuchet shots are helping cover their retreat, and as we can see, in fact there is an army lead for the red team at this point, so that might not have been the best of strategies. They could have instead chosen to focus down the archive, and that might have worked a little bit better. We see the income here, a surprising lead for our blue team, but that is going to go into upgrades. As we can see, 1.5k lead into upgrades for our blue team, and it looks like the game is getting pretty much stable at this point. Arkman has to be careful not to lose any units. That Ice Frog is going down, and it is going to be killed by this red army. Careful with that Aquadillo. Instead he chooses to engage in here, and this is going to be a tricky engagement for our blue team. They are in an awkward position down here. Those heat waves are going to help quite a little bit, so Porkraven doing a good job with those heat waves. Crispy is boxed in here. Hard camps have spawned to just add to the chaos right now. Crispy is getting low and he is getting body blocked, and down he goes. This Aquadillo is going to be the next high value target for our blue team, as well as a Bramblethorn. The Bramblethorn goes down, the Aquadillo goes down, and there is that Ice Frog there as well that gets killed off. And as we can see, they have been trading fairly evenly. Again, the army side is looking fairly even at this point, even though the upgrades are superior for our blue team. Those battle horns have to be careful there. You don't want to lose those in poor engagements like that. They want to take down castle, but I believe that losing one battle horn to take down one hero is not going to be worth it at this point. Aquadillo is trying to chase. I use GoA can actually snipe Jacka here if he pays a little bit of attention there. Unfortunately for him, Jacka is able to escape, and those battle horns make it home safe. And we have a little bit of an army lead right now for our blue team. There is still this hard camp in the upper left corner of the map. We're going to see which team is going to get there faster. But IU's GoA is actually pretty bold in here, trying to scout a little bit. And maybe he wants to go for this warp spire. He has to be careful to not be caught out of position. Let's check out what our players are going for right now. IU's GoA is going for some upgrades. He still has one Deadeye and one Precognitor left to warp in. Jacka is going to go for magic resistance level 3. Arkman is going for another Aquadillo. He has 2 quadrupuses ready, while Porkraven is rebuilding his Devilkin army, as well as getting ability power level 4. That is going to be very important. Those destructive prophecies and heat waves are going to cause a lot of trouble for our red team here. Let's check what Crispy is doing. He has now just started attack damage level 3, 1 Aquadillo and 1 Ice Frog queued up. The Ice Frog is now ready, but the Titans have spawned and the blue team gets here in time to get this, while the red team is a little bit late to the party. And we see some nice trebuchet shots, nicely placed trebuchet over there, very nicely done by our red team there. Children of Gaia on top of that trebuchet positioning. And we see that was a very nice Ice Frog. Unfortunately for him, those Apocalypse shots are coming down. The Ice Frog goes down, and we see an engagement right here. Ultimates are being popped right now, but those heat waves are huge. The blue team can now just retreat and let those heat waves push the red team away. And the blue team now has control over the middle of the map, but those trebuchet shots actually get one Aquadillo. That was a little bit sloppy there by Arkman. So now Crispy and the rest of his team are trying to engage in here. One Battlehorn is a little bit low. Porkraven goes down. The Battlehorns actually go down as well, and we saw an ultimate that didn't really do much there. But those Aquadillos are low, and if Jacka is able to just focus them down, he might be able to get some nice pickups there. But those Aquadillos, it looks like they are going to be able to escape. And that was a good engagement from Children of Gaia. They are slowly coming back in this game, but they have to win this Titan fight in order to do so. Their archive is exposed, and one more Titan might just mean the game and the tournament for them. And we see one Conduit gets taken down by that destructive prophecy, and the blue team is in control of the middle again. But that trebuchet over there in that extremely nice position, just not letting anyone get anywhere near that spot. But we see here that the blue team is going to take this Titan fight, and I am afraid that this might mean the end of the game. Instead, they want to go the other way around, probably going for the healing generator. I think this is a mistake on their part. They should just charge in there. The archive is exposed, and this is a late Titan. This Titan is going to do a lot of damage and is very beefy at this point of the game. So in my opinion, this is definitely a mistake on their part. They should be just charging for the archive, and it looks like Porkraven is only now getting in here. He sets up some destructive prophecies that hit their mark, but careful with those Deadeyes there. They can do a little bit of damage. Now the Titan is going to go for this archive tower here. The entirety of the red team and blue team is now just trying to fight over this position. That was a nice destructive prophecy there by Pork Raven, and that heatwave is dishing out a lot of damage. The Titan is only now moving for the archive. Let's see if they are going to be able to seal this game. They should have just went straight for the archive. As I said earlier, it would have been a lot easier for them to just take it out. Nice destructive prophecies going down from Pork Raven there. But the armies are pretty much equal at this point, and the Titan is going to go down. The archive is still quite healthy at this point, and it will take quite a little bit of effort for our blue team to be able to seal this game. And as we can see here, they have moved the trebuchet up as well to get those shots in, try to help them a little bit. That trebuchet is actually damaging the archive a little bit, but it looks like our blue team is indeed going to retreat. There are no structures left whatsoever for Children of Gaia at this point, but I am honestly amazed that they are still in this game. We see Arkman and Pork Raven are now going to go for this medium camp up here. Crispy and Castle are just running around the middle of the map. Crispy is actually trying to get a few precious resources. The armies are heavily in favor of the blue team, as we can see down here. Income even more so, and the upgrades are telling the same story. We see Jacka in here. He is going to clear out this camp. This trebuchet managed to get back home safely, and we see Pork Raven and Arkman taking care of this hard camp in the upper left corner of the map. Let's see what our players are building. We see Pork Raven going for attack damage level 4, physical resistance level 3, and magic resistance level 2. Arkman is only now getting his attack level 4, 2 shadows, 1 aquadillo, and deep freeze as well, while Jacka is getting magic resistance level 4, 2 bramblethorns, and 1 baton horn. Checking out for our red team here, we see GoTo going for Precognitor's conduits. Castle is wanting to get his trebuchet back. It has been killed during the last fight, and an additional bramblethorn as well, while Crispy is getting physical resist level 3, 1 aquadillo, and 1 ice frog. But it looks like our players are now instead waiting for the next Titan fight down here. We see some Deadeye shots going down, and Pork Raven is going to go around to look for us around. Those Apocalypse shots are not really going to hit anything at this point. And we also see that the blue team is just sieging up the middle. They want this next Titan. They want to be sure that this game is going to go their way, not risking anything with this. This next Titan fight is going to go fairly easily for them. Pork Raven is now advancing. It looks like he is looking for an engagement, or at least one destructive prophecy, and there it goes. Snipes 1 conduit from Ayus GoTo. And at this point, really for the red team to come back, it is going to take quite a miracle at this point. Castle is now going to get surrounded in here. Nice destructive prophecies. Castle is going to go down, I believe. Those 2 bramblethorns have been surrounded and killed. Trebuchet is going down as well. Deadeye shots coming. Finally, that hero has been slain. So Castle goes down. And as we can see here, both teams are just engaging. We see a lot of heat waves coming down from both sides. Arkman is now popping his ultimate. Pork Raven is in here. He is tanking some archive shots. Don't really want to do that with a red team. But as we can see here, there is pretty much nothing left for our red team. And it looks like this is going to be game for Team Grath at this point. Only GoTo is left standing in here, battling out with 1 Bramblethorn, manages to take it down, but it is just not enough. Team Grath is going to advance to round 4 in the losers bracket, while Children of Gaia are eliminated from the tournament.